Alright, hello, this is Miss Cruz, and I just wanted to go over what you need to do for the balloon and the ice lab. If you can do it, please try it out yourself. If you cannot, just watch me do it and then write down the observations. So you will need a balloon, a Sharpie or a permanent marker, and the freezer, okay? So the first thing you need to do is get a balloon. Any balloon's fine, and then you need to blow them up. Okay, so I'm going to go blow up one of them. You don't need to blow it up all the way, but do make sure you blow it up. And then, to make it easier to see what happens to the balloon, I like to draw happy faces on them. So for this one, let's draw a happy face. It could be any face that you want. I'm gonna fill in the eyes. And then I'm gonna put that face like I always send you guys, the one that looks like a 3. Yeah, there we go. So that's our first balloon. You only have to do one, but I'm gonna do 2 just for fun. That's our first balloon. Kind of looks like Kirby. Okay, so here's our second balloon. Again, it doesn't have to be blown up all the way. Okay, and then for this one, let's make it a mad face. You can do whatever face you want. Okay, so there we go. We got our balloons. So that was the first steps. The next step is to put them in the freezer for about 5 minutes, but if you want to, you can leave them overnight and just absorb what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna go put them in the freezer. I'll show you guys, and then I'll take them out of the freezer and we can see what happened to the balloons. Okay, so we got our balloons. I'm gonna put them in the freezer, and then we'll see what happens to the balloons after they've been in the freezer. Try to put it all the way back in your freezer if you can. No, the pink one's escaping. All right, so try to put them back there as far back as you can. And then it's up to you how long you want to keep them there. The longer, the better. 5 minutes or overnight. Okay, so I'm gonna leave them there, and we'll check back later to see what happens to the balloons. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. Let's see what happened to the balloons. Okay, so they're still there. That's kind of hard for you guys to see, but they actually did get a little bit smaller. Okay. Ooh, this one got even more smaller. Okay, so I'm gonna leave them there overnight, and then we'll do the second part of the experiment, where we play around with them with our hands. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the balloons in the freezer overnight, and we'll check them out the next morning. Okay, so now we're checking the balloons after leaving them overnight, about 28 hours. Okay. Oh yeah, you can definitely see how this one got smaller, especially the top part. It's a lot smaller, a little bit more compressed than before. Now the red one, ooh, this one got so tiny. You guys see it? Okay, it got really small. All right, so now we're gonna do the second part of the lab. Okay, so for the next part of the lab, we got them out of the freezer, and now you just take the balloon and you play with it for a few minutes. And then as you play with it, you are transferring the heat from your hands into the balloon. So as you can see, now this balloon got a little bit bigger because now the heat from my hands got transferred over into the balloon, into the gas particles of the air, giving them energy to expand even more and make the balloon bigger. Now this one, remember I told you to pay attention here? You can see how it's kind of frozen. So now if I play with it, we're gonna get rid of those ridges right there. You You can see it's not as tightly packed as before. Because again, remember, the heat, the thermal energy from my hands is being transferred to the balloon and then into the air particles and the air molecules inside the balloon, giving them energy so they can expand even more and make the balloon bigger. What happened inside the refrigerator that they got smaller is that there was heat inside the air molecules of the balloon. But then since the freezer is cold because it doesn't have any thermal energy, the thermal energy from the balloon transferred to the freezer, and then the air molecules inside the balloon lost their heat, so they couldn't move as fast, making the balloon smaller. Alright guys, so that is the lab of the balloon with ice, but we used the freezer in this case just to make it easier. Alright, bye guys, and have a great day.